Good afternoon, my people. What is going on? It is your main man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I welcome each and every one of you to episode 174, looking out for number one. And that's you, by the way, in case you didn't know. But before we get into it, got to practice the attitude of gratitude and say thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every one of you who are here with me live as I stream across the Wealth Our Way Facebook page and the Wealth Our Way Network YouTube page. If you have not taken the time to dip over to YouTube and subscribe to Wealth Our Way Network, please do so today. We'd love you for it. And we're going to love you anyway, but please do so today. I also want to say to Wow Nation, bang, there's the salute to everyone who finds 15 minutes to get this program in its pre-recorded state over the weekend, on their lunch break, hiding from their spouse, wherever you can do it. I appreciate you. And last but not least, a heartfelt how are you to all the good folks on the Life 101 platform who listen to the audio recording of this very here show. So how are we going to start today? What are we going to talk about today? What is Tank talking about? My titles sometimes are just a little misleading and sometimes they're a little vague. But today, I really want to just talk about what the title says, looking out for yourself. I like to come on here and give real life examples, real life stories of things that I have gone through that I say to myself, this is probably happening to someone who watches my program. This is probably happening to someone else who could use this good advice. So I want to come share it, always with the thought of improving your financial situation. So for the past 2 weeks, I have been looking into some form of training that will help me with my weight loss. And I had some really good trainers up north, but I've now moved down south. So I was looking at a boxer trainer that is real good friends with a very good friend of mine. And I also was looking at this nutrition group, just doing various things. And when you're going through this, everything is a negotiation and a sales process. I always want people to remember that no matter how warm and fuzzy something feels, at the end of the day, somebody needs to make money. Something has to generate revenue. And either you are getting the revenue or you're the cause of the revenue. And once again, I have a saying that my staff has heard me say, my spouse has heard me say, my friends and family have heard me say, fair exchange is no robbery. It is okay to pay for things. It is okay to have to give something, so long as you are getting the appropriate value that you see fit in exchange. So I wanted to share with you a conversation that I had last night with one of the vendors that I'm speaking on trying to get their services. And the services, in my opinion, were expensive. They were $100 an hour, but I need the services. So it was worth $100 an hour to me. But to my surprise, as we're talking, the vendor said, yeah, so, you got a lot of weight to lose, which I do. He said, so, I need to make sure that you're committed. You need to make like a year commitment. So that's why I'm starting to listen to the keywords being said here. He said, we're talking about 2 times a week at $100 every week, 4 weeks of the month. That's $800 a month. Uh-oh. Can anybody, I hear the audio has been jacked up. Can someone in the chat tell me if the audio is okay? My man L is saying that he cannot hear me. I will wait before I go any further. Audio check. Okay, I'm packing in the chat. Okay, you're good. Okay. So L, check your connection, baby. It might be you in the building. So the reality is that I'm listening to this gentleman talk to me, and he's telling me that I have to pay $9,600 to commit for an entire year. So I said, whoa, okay, here's the problem with that. First of all, let's just say that I was going to pay for a year in advance, which I'm not. But let's just say I was. Why would I pay for a year in advance at the exact same rate that it would be if I paid as I go? With the other trainers that I use, they said, hey, my training services are $75 an hour. But if you buy 20 packages, 20 training sessions, instead of it being 1,500, we'll make it 1,300. Lure me in, incentivize me to pay. And once again, anybody who knows me, it's annoying to hang around me because I think of the money and the business side of everything. So as I'm hearing this, I'm like, I got to talk to my audience about this. Make sure they understand that there's a time value of money. And that was the second thing I moved into this conversation with this gentleman. I said, why would I give you my money today that I don't need to give you for a year? 11 months, 10 months, 9 months, it's all in the future. And interest rates are going up in our savings accounts. So why would I not want to earn 2.5% on my money and then just give it to you monthly, as opposed to giving it to you all up front, unless you're incentivizing me with a discount? And he went, you'd have thought, because he's a boxing trainer, you thought that we was ready to fight. He went on this long soliloquy on why I needed to do it that way. The funniest part of the story was he was saying, well, you run a business. You wouldn't just want people jumping in and out of your financial services. You wouldn't want someone to pay you, say they're coming on board, that you're going to help them, and then 2 months later decide they're not, and then you was expecting payment and you're not going to get it. I said, aha. I said, first of all, that's exactly the way the Wealth Our Way model is set up. I said, my clients who have any type of subscription with me, no long-term contract. They pay on a monthly basis. And furthermore, this is how I get down. If my client pays for the month and 9 days into that month says, Tank, I don't rock with you no more. This isn't helping me the way I wanted to, or I'm good at you fixed all my problems, and they don't need me for the rest of the month, I'll give them back pro rata the rest of the month. So it was a long silence. He said, well, that's you. I don't do business that way. I said, see, here's the difference. I care about the people I do business with. I'm trying to help them. You're trying to help you. And I am not mad at you, but don't sell it to me like you're doing it for me. He's like, oh, well, you put the money out, it'll make you committed. I said, dude, if I'm paying $100 a session, that makes me committed. Putting that money out in advance, you see so many gymnasiums that you sign these long-term memberships with, and nobody goes to the gym. And you see all these other things where people are paying in advance. So it made me think about this upcoming session that I had. And I said, I really want to talk to the audience about time value of money, and entering in things and getting a discount, how you spend your money. I have set up this program, this forum, this free forum that I've never charged anybody for. And on top of not charging you, I give away money. I run a contest. I've paid rents. I've funded IRAs. I also have shown you guys how to open bank accounts. I just was working with a client who had the Wild Wealth Jumpstart. And after that's all wrapped up, the client wants to buy a house. And they were asking me the best way to save for this house. Very challenging situation because it's currently August of 2022. They want to buy a house at the end of June 2023. They're thinking they need about $50,000 of savings to get the house that they want for the down payment and the closing costs. They have zero saved now. Fortunately, they have some cash flow where they can start putting money away. Well, here I am as a financial planner. That's a difficult task. That's a difficult ask of me, because anything that I would suggest that can actually make a good enough rate of return to help her money grow is too risky to put somebody in who has an 11-month time horizon. Anybody who tells you, yeah, put your money in the stock market, buy some cryptocurrency, do a fund. If you have less than a 7 to 10 year time horizon, all of those things are a no-no. So I said, hey, the best thing I can do is tell you to get $10,000 worth of I-bonds, but do understand that when you get out of the I-bonds in June, the last 3 months of interest will be lost. And if you can only do 10,000, we're trying to put away 50,000, 40 some thousand, you then can do a high yield savings account. But the high yield savings accounts right now, I think the best one I found for her was SoFi at 2%. The reason I bring all of this up is I also told her about a trick that I've told you guys about. And I showed you last year, and I did it myself. And I told you earlier, I got my 1099 from the 2 banks. You can open bank accounts. Banks are desperate for clients. Credit card companies are desperate for clients. You can open a bank account set up a direct deposit at a bank account or put a certain amount of money in a bank account, and the bank will pay you for joining. These aren't huge numbers. I'm talking about $250, $400, $500 is the biggest one I think I've seen. But this woman is going to be about $2,000 short of what she wants to have for the house versus what she can put away. If I can help her earn a couple $100 in interest through the I-bonds and through the high yield savings account, but more importantly, help her put $1,000 in her pocket because she takes advantage of these bank situations, I've helped her win. Now, she's a paying client, but this is literally something I just told you for free. When I tell you to look out for number one, here's what I mean. All advice that costs money is not good advice. I sat in on a webinar the other day, and I'm not going to put nobody on blast. There are so many people I could put on blast, and I choose not to. Not that I feel like I'm protecting them, but I just feel it's unethical. I feel like, most of these people will never get their hands on my audience, so I'm not tripping. But literally sat in a webinar for successful people. So they deemed Big Tank successful, so they invited me. And they were teaching these people how to get paid on the internet just because they're successful. It wasn't fraud. It wasn't a sham, or I would say something. It was just basically like one guy had made a gang of money in his business. He's very successful. And he's like, look, man, the guy, we got invited because they look at our social media profiles and see certain things. So he's like, yo, I see you pushing a Bentley and I see you on the private jets. Is that real or is that fake? He said, no, that's how I roll. I have a company that does ABC. I make $3 million a year, blah, blah, blah. He said, don't you think the rest of the world would want to know how to make $3 million a year? You should start a coaching course. You should do this. And I'm sitting there saying, what he does is so specific to his skill set that very few people will be able to do it. A, if they studied for years, very few people would be able to do it. B, there is no way you can coach that crap online. I see these coaching courses. I have a coaching course. It's very group oriented. That's what the whole purpose of a coaching course is, to get as many people to scale what you know knowledge wise. So I can teach you how to set up a budget in a coaching course. I can teach you the difference between bonds and stocks in a coaching course, but I can't solve your individual financial problems in a coaching course. So then what they do is they say, oh yeah, you like what I told you at $300 and at $2,000? Well, you can talk to me personally for $25,000. And they laugh at me because I won't sign up for this. I won't get involved with it because I can't, with a straight face, call any human being, tell them that I am trying to help them increase their net worth and that they need to give me $25,000 so I can do it. There's people out there who do it all day with a clear conscience. I am not one of them. I make good bread. I have a great life and I help people. That is my goal. So the help I want to give you today is to tell you, always I say buyer beware and look out for number one. Any deal that you are going to get into, make sure that you are getting out of that deal what you want. And if you are not, have the courage to walk on by the deal. I want to lose weight, but there's no way I can lose it with homie because his model is about him. So if his model is about him, at what point during our relationship will I need something, whether it's mentally, physical, some type of support, but he's going to be more about him. I may call him crying that something happened personally in my life. He's going to be like, yo, send you, you pay for your session. Here's what we're doing. So I didn't want to go on a rant. I wanted to more so tell you guys that in your business dealings, you have to prioritize your needs and your wants and make sure that you're doing the best use of your dollar, taking care of your family. But be careful out here on these physical and on these internet streets because they're trying to take $1 out of your pocket and put it in their pocket. I'm not saying that you're going to find a bunch of forums that give information for free like this forum, but you will be able to find forums that you can glean a lot of information at an affordable price, a free price, or have the choice of signing up at a higher cost once you deem it's right for you. With all that being said, I want you guys to have an amazing weekend. I'll be back on Tuesday. Next Wednesday is the Financial Power Hour. Please remember, wealth is not only for the wealthy. You guys take care.